Okay, Tom, take it away.
Got it. Welcome to the show. This is the Ask Joseph Land Insiders Club show today, and we're here on another great Monday. And I got a lot of people on the screen here. If you can't see them, boy, I got them all over the place. Tom Henderson's driving. That's commitment when you get in a car and you're going to be on a show. You know what I mean? Well, we're here today. We got a lot to talk about. We got a lot of stuff. And Joseph Land always comes up with some great ideas and some great things. It could be one thing that you can learn. It could be 6 things that you've learned. Now today, I believe there's 9 things he wants you to learn. So get ready, folks. And I do encourage you to go into the chat box if you have the opportunity and post up any response, any questions you have, anything you need. That's the place to go do it, because we really want your feedback. That's very important to each and every one of us. So thank you so much for being here today, and grab a cup of coffee and sit back and enjoy the show. Here's Joseph Land.
Okay, thank you, Tom. It's great to be on the call with everyone today, again on a Monday, the Ask Joseph Land show. We're so excited about this. We're getting a lot of positive feedback from people all over the globe, actually. Some who are able to get on this call and some who access it later through our recording. And thanks to Mark Chua for doing such a great job with all of that. But I wanted to tell everybody today, excuse me, happy Monday. Excuse me, I just got a frog in my throat. And this is going to be a great time together. So, Terry, how's everything going up in Canada?
It's going pretty good. The weather's been beautiful. Lots of snow melting. Carrie and I are doing very well and very excited to be here.
We're excited to have you here too. We just got a parcel delivery from you, so I'll be drinking your tea after this call today. So I think Jennifer and I got a parcel from you today, and thank you for that. And we're excited about your business and all that you're doing there, and probably want to circle back with you a little bit later. I got another dear friend on this call from Canada, Paul Joseph. Paul, how are you doing today?
I'm excellent, sir. How are you?
Doing good. How's the business going?
Business is going fairly well. The virtual receptionist, currently in the process of automating everything, finalizing all our sales process so that I could kind of step aside, let one of our other team members handle all that, and then focus on the other one, the transportation one.
On logistics.
Yes.
Good. Well, I want you to hold that just a minute, because I want to come back to you a little bit later. I want to just have some people on. And I'm going to give my wife a heads up. Jennifer, I want you to tell people a little bit about how you created Promo Mart and what you do with that a little bit besides running JL Capital. My wife and I run our business together, but she also has a promotional business that's quite fascinating. And, when you're in business, you need to take advantage of the synergies that you have, the economies of scale. Let me give you an example. When I owned my transportation company, I did a lot of advertising, things on the side of trucks and, decaling trailers. And I mean, we spent a fortune on things like that. And so this advertising company, it came to me one day, and this is one thing you don't tell somebody like me. They came to me one day and said, gosh, we appreciate your business. You're our biggest customer. In fact, you're our only customer. And I'm saying, I'm your only customer? And they say, yeah. I said, well, good. I want to buy your company. So we ended up buying their company, and we combined that synergy with what we did. And we took our client base and gave them a lot of other companies to use, to go after. You see how it works? And so my wife and I got married, of course, and she had a business and I had a business, and now we have a business. And she's as much of a power broker on the finance JL Capital side as I am. She's just a quieter version, the quieter, prettier, smarter version of me. And so, but she came to the table with her own business. And see, here's how things work. This is how fascinating business can be. And so we take one of our 𝐒𝐇𝐎𝐿 clients to dinner one night, and they're asking Jennifer about what she does in her promotional business. She tells them, we give them a pin from 𝐒𝐿 Capital that Jennifer had created for me. And all of a sudden she's creating swag for their company. You see how it works? And so in a business, you always want to take advantage of the synergies you have with other people, or within your own family, or within your own sphere of influence, or whatever. And it's like Tony Fightmaster. I'm constantly looking at ways to work with him because he's always innovative and always doing different things. And so you take advantage of those synergies when you can. So Jennifer Land, my wife, why don't you say a few words about a business called Promo Mark? Write this down, PROMO. And the next word is Mark, but it's spelled different, MARQUE. And Jennifer has top tier clients. And actually she put her business on hold a little bit for me to help me run 𝐒𝐿 Capital, but she's gearing that up pretty strong again. And we're just so excited about it. And I want everybody to know what she does, because it's just a fascinating business that she has. And I'm so proud of her. Honey, why don't you take it away and talk to everybody a little bit? You're muted. You're muted.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for being on this call this morning. Talk about a last minute hit me with introduction. I've been with Joseph, you know, we've had communication all morning, so I have had zero time to prepare for anything I'm about to say. But just briefly, I wanted to say that I started out with my company. I was working for another company. I was a stay-home mother of 5 children, and I was still shuffling them to and from school, back and forth. My schedule was super unpredictable, but I found that I was able to sell promotional products with this company and kind of dedicate as many hours as I could possibly put in to make a little income on, you know, on the side. So it started out just learning the first year and finding out the business from the people that I worked with, making mistakes along the way. And I stuck with this company for maybe not even a year. And I decided that I really wasn't getting the money I thought I earned and deserved. So I did a little bit of research on the side. It was a 50-50 split at the time. So my commission was just totally cut in half. So I thought why not just try and go out, branch out on my own? And so I looked into the expense and found out it was really in my budget and to start an LLC. So I moved forward with baby stepping into starting my own company, creating a brand, a logo, a new name. So I decided to go down that path and found that people will work with you if they enjoy your personality. And it's not so much the product, because there's so many wonderful products out there. Of course, we'd have quality products, but I think it was networking and meeting people, which I just loved the most. And I found, wow, I could really do this on my own. So thankfully, I was put in the position to find an accountant that helped me and another salesperson, and we ended up growing, and they brought some contacts to the table, and I learned to become less fearless and scared of myself. And I reached out to people on LinkedIn. On LinkedIn was where I really got a lot of feedback from, and Facebook. And I ended up really getting a good group of maybe 10 solid clients that were consistently buying from me yearly for their annual events. And It was a lot of fun. I did a lot of traveling to find out the latest and greatest new products through a membership that our company had joined. So I really think in the scheme of things, it really kind of brought me out of not being just the mother, but it brought me into being a businesswoman, and it was very exciting. And of course it had it, you know, its ups and downs, but it was something I could control and the people that I worked with. And I just cultivated relationships along the way, and, you know, referrals got around and grew and grew. So that's basically how PromoMark got started. I had a lot of support, I think, from my children and my friends, and I enjoyed it. And it's super challenging. I've been able to maintain it now for almost 8-10 years. And, you know, I can kind of control the flow, how it, you know, ebbs and goes, but I'm a gift giver by nature. So this was really something that I was super passionate about, just finding the perfect item that would represent a company and not just be a cheap throwaway thing that people would just, you know, be glad to have and receive, but something of quality that had longevity for it. So thank you. But I love what I do.
Thank you, Jennifer. And if I'd given you any notice, you would have been nervous about it and working all morning to try to talk about it. So I didn't let you know what I planned to do. It's so good on your feet anyway. And so Candace and Shane, that was for you today. My wife. Listening to my wife today. And here, what is your takeaway from that? You know, here's what my takeaway from that was. And of course, this is my wife, and I know, but she just got sick and tired of being sick and tired. She got sick and tired of working for someone paying 50% of her commissions and said, you know what? 100% of my commissions is better than 50.
Yeah.
That's what she decided. In other words, I'm doing all the work. I know how to do all of this. I've been to the school of learning how to do this, you know, the hard way. I'm just going to do this on my own. And she doesn't know this yet, but I'm really excited about expanding her business along with what we're doing with JL Capital. And JL Capital is a customer of hers. And we're getting ready to order. Here's an example of what she does. We're getting ready to order Yeti mugs, you know, the nice Yeti coffee mugs, with one of our subsidiary companies that we have. And we're going to send 100 of them to managers in their company just for a thank you. And so Jennifer has customers like, and I probably shouldn't mention her customers' names, but people like Hanes Brands, you know, on the, you know, part of the Nabisco crowd and all that. And so she has some really top-notch clientele. And this is a whole area that we want to develop. Not something that she would probably run all the time, but something we envision as having in our stable of companies that does quite well. Does that make sense to you guys? You think I have a big vision? You see, you have to cast that vision and you have to speak it into existence. And so I see big things for her business, PromoMark, which is our business, as we do for JL Capital and JL Specialty Products and all the other things that we do. And so it's just really exciting when you start to see the light go off in people and they say, I can take advantage of these synergies, right? And so let me take that one step further. So when we're talking on the show, or I'm doing something exclusive for my Insiders Club, then I expect you to take advantage of the synergies of what everybody does. In other words, Terry sells tea. Well, who am I going to buy tea from? Terry, right? So Tony's in the silver business. So who am I going to buy my silver from? Tony. You know, it's creating our own economy within ourselves, right? And as we have thousands and thousands and thousands of people becoming a part of our Insiders Club, all of them will be supporting or will be hearing about your business and be able to support your business just as they will to have you do the same for them. Does that make sense for you guys?
Yes.
Do you see why I'm so excited about this? In these global economic times where people are concerned, and by the way, you should be concerned enough to pray, but God's in control, and you know, people like us, we have to just do what's right and pray for our people and our families and our associates and all of that. But you know, God hasn't gotten off the throne, and he is still in charge of what's going on globally and all over the world. So I just encourage you guys to be positive, to be aggressive, to get up every day and say, gosh, I got a chance to do something special today, and just go for your dreams. And Candace, you know, I've been talking to you, and you have a good business plan and idea, and you've had a start and a stop, and people tried to steal your idea from you and this and that, you know? And so what I think you're having to do is you got to have the faith of putting your feet in the water before God parts the water. Right?
Yes, well, I'm getting very good at that. But yeah, I get that.
So I want you
I've
to put
gotten
your
some
feet, I want you to
messages.
get your feet going in the water.
Yeah, I am. Yes, got some exciting things working on. So yeah.
And what Jennifer did was and I want y'all to write this down. Sometimes you got to get sick and tired of being sick and tired. I worked for a company one time, and I was bringing them all this business, and I was making a measly salary. And I said, heck, I can do this on my own. I got sick and tired of being sick and tired. And see, when people don't value what you do, and by paying you what you're worth, then you have options to do something else. And see, people determine what you're worth by what they pay you in a company. You understand that? So me, I have a high opinion of what I think I'm worth. So that's why I'm unemployable. You understand that?
I do.
I don't want to work for somebody else because they can't pay me what I'm worth, because I have a very high standard of what I think I'm worth. And I want to breed that in each one of you. Right? It's like playing athletics. When you got the ball and it's the bottom of the ninth and you're the pitcher, you got to know you can get 3 outs. You got to know you're going to blow some smoke and get 3 outs. Like anything else. If you're the quarterback and you got the ball and there's a 2 minutes left and you need to score to win the game, you're going to win the game. You want the ball. Hey, give me the ball. And the person you don't want to have the ball in a situation like that is the person who doesn't want the ball. And you can see it in their eyes. I want the ball. How many people want the ball? Raise your hand. Right? So you got to want it, and you got to be aggressive, and you got to wake up every day saying, hey, I'm going for it today. I'm gonna do something special today. I'm gonna be a blessing to people today. I'm gonna pick out someone I can say something kind to today in a sincere way, and I'm just gonna make a difference. I have a men's Bible study every Monday morning at 7:30. And this morning we were talking about that. We were talking about having feet to go out and be a blessing today, making a difference, going out of our way to make a difference. And so you're going to be, after this call, you're going to be talking to people on the phone. You're going to be interacting with people personally. You're going to be seeing people on the internet or whatever, social media. Just decide to be a blessing to someone today. That's what this world needs. All right. Tony, tell us a little bit about what's going on with you today, Tony Fightmaster.
Hey, Joe, it's great to be on, and you just fired me up again. I flipped back to my baseball years when I told the coach, just go ahead and put me in the bullpen, because I knew my strengths. My strengths were, hey, when you got guys on base, you got to shut them down. I was a pretty good relief pitcher. I was a starting pitcher, but I told coach, I think we got some good starters. Put me in. And so I became the guy that set the record for the most appearances and, in a season. And what's going on with me today, Joe, is, I started off in the Word today. I've got my system that I do.
Hold on just a minute. Hold on just a minute.
Yeah.
That's your personal discipline. All right.
Yes. Yeah.
So you're talking about, I want you guys to make a note of this. He's talking about his personal discipline. Go ahead.
Yeah. What I do on a daily basis, and I started this saturation of my mind 52 years ago when I was about 12 with scripture and truth. But over the years, it developed into my own little system. And so I start off with reading a psalm. And then from there, I go to the proverb. Today's the 4th, so I read Proverbs 4. Phenomenal chapter. That is one of the greatest chapter in all of Proverbs. And that is David. That's Solomon writing what David spoke to him, sitting at the knee of his king, Father David. And this is what David spoke to Solomon. And good stuff, Proverbs 4. And then I went from there to Jeremiah, where I'm reading through the prophet Jeremiah right now. And then from there, I went to Acts. So I'm in 4 different spots, always in the Psalms and Proverbs, and then a place in the Old Testament and a place in the New Testament. So, and I wrote a page of notes there, but that's my foundation for the day. I start off with that. And then I went into the other stuff. I'm at home today. If you can see the cabinets behind me, I'm not in my office, working from home today. And what I'm trying to do is clean up and follow up. I was, after our call last week, I hit the road Tuesday morning, and I was on the road all week in Michigan, working with very generous people to the university. And I know that if I could just put this little plug in here, there are, there's a lot of negative, and especially people in our seats that are entrepreneurial, that perhaps are conservative in the way we look at things. There's a lot of negative that would be said maybe about higher education, university systems, and that kind of thing. And it's deserved, quite honestly. But we have a whole different ballgame here at Olivet Nazarene University, and we are our motto that kind of communicates our mission and purpose is education with a Christian purpose. When I came through Olivet 40 plus years ago, I had 3 individuals that impacted my life. Joe, I'm going on further than what you asked me to here. I'm sorry.
That's good. I want to hear it. Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
I had 3 mentors. One was my coach, Larry Watson. He was always asking me, hey, why are you on the mound? Why are you on the mat? He was my coach in wrestling and baseball. And there were 3 scripture verses that just really became drilled into me. Colossians 3:17, whatever you do, do it in the name of Jesus. Colossians 3:23, whatever you do it heartily as unto the Lord rather than unto men. And then 1 Corinthians 10:31, whatever you do it to the glory of God. And so it spoke to the purpose. Why am I doing what I'm doing? If I don't have a pure purpose in why I'm doing what I'm doing, then why are we doing it? It's just, it loses its. So he hit me there, with that constantly. Dr. George Zumbar, my voice prof, was the epitome of humility. He walked in confidence, or what I call Godfidence, and but was humble and always realized that there were others around him, and he was unbelievable at creating tremendous music by using all the different people with their gifts, that kind of thing. And then there was crazy Joe Noble, Professor Joe Noble. He was a music prof that pumped iron with us guys. And I thought, hey, it's okay to be me, because that was me. I was a music guy, an athlete, and 2 spectrums, a wrestler and a Messiah soloist, So anyway, that impacted my life. And so even today at 64, there's a foundation there from those mentors, Joe. And then along the way, I met people like you. And so everything that I do, there's a reason behind it, whether it's entrepreneurial or whether it's here at the university. And it was impacted by that time, education with a Christian purpose, helping me lay a foundation in my life Not all universities are created equal is what I'm saying. So don't throw the baby out with the bathwater with your idea about higher education in our country. We've got a number of universities that really do stick with principles that are life-giving, and we're making a difference. We're sending salt and light into the world. Today, I'm getting ready for my hip replacement, Joe. So I've got a doctor's appointment with the surgeon today, and hopefully that's going to happen this week. And next time you see me, I'm going to be a bionic machine.
All right. All right. Well, that sounds good. I'm proud of that. And thank you for sharing that with us, Tony. And
oh, by the way, I'm expecting 4 boxes from Terry. I got my tea ordered, baby.
All right. Well, Tony, thanks for sharing that with us, and not to embarrass you, but Tony is quite an accomplished singer. You heard him say that he sang, the Messiah, the Handel's Messiah at Christmas time. It's one of my favorite things. In fact, in Charleston, we used to be the sole sponsor for the symphony when they did Handel's Messiah, and Jennifer and I are thinking about doing that again. But, just making a difference. And Tony, Jennifer and I are proud to be a part of what you're doing at Olivet. And we're just so proud of you and Janine and just how you bless people. And brother, you're a first-class entrepreneur. I'm really excited about your metals, precious metals business as well. So thank you for all that. I want to go to back to Paul Joseph. Paul, if you don't mind, I want to have you say a few things about how you're forming your logistics company and just your thought processes there. So people who are wanting to start a business realize some of the thought processes that you have and what you're going through. Now, here's a very successful guy who owns a business, and he's starting another one because of the synergies. What did I talk to about it the first of this call? Paul is taking advantage of the synergies that have presented themselves to him in his life and business. So Paul, can you take that and run with it just a little bit?
Yeah, most definitely. So most of you know, my current business is virtual receptionist. Some people call it call center, but we're a little bit more in depth in terms of handling client requests and client answering calls for clients. So a little bit more on the back end support for clients as well. So we integrate well with our campaigns as well as back end processes for clients. So in the midst of creating this business and coming across companies or industries that require call center service, we realized that there is a big hole in the transportation and logistics sector in terms of handling back end support for these companies, and they're paperwork heavy, right? And I'm sure Joseph could attest to that. In terms of a logistics company, it's heavy on the paperwork side. So in order to process these paperwork, obviously you need a big team, or you could outsource this to a team that could handle it for cheaper. So in researching the processes, we came across the possibilities of creating or starting a logistics company, as well as providing call center support, back end process work for other logistics companies. So what we had anticipated in doing was starting a logistics company abroad, or using brokers or training brokers abroad, so that we can still run the company in North America, but use outsourced dispatchers, outsourced brokers, where we train them to be able to handle processes here in North America. One, it's a lower cost point for us, and two, the profit margin should be higher in theory, but just the scalability of using virtual brokers and virtual dispatchers is a model that no other logistics company currently is doing. But even if they are, it's very minuscule, but it's a market that we want to tap into, where the scalability is substantially high. And the synergy obviously started with our virtual receptionist company, is because that's where we initially realized the potential of the market in this space in the logistics sector.
That sounds really good. Did you guys get that? And so see how he's taking advantage of things. And I'm really excited about his new business. And Paul, we need to later in the week do an offline call and let me get really in depth with you a little bit on what you're doing.
Most definitely.
Okay. All right, good. Shane, I'd like to get an update from you on how you're doing. Shane Forbes is up in Nantucket. Gosh, I want to be in Nantucket, and Jennifer and I want to come see you in August.
Absolutely. Just give me a heads up anytime. It's the
I
best
like your picture.
to be here. Oh, thank you. So, you know, last time I talked about my vision of Tri Wellness was not only my healing work, but also my art and my singing. And that's what's really got me excited now, because I see so much unlimited potential. And also, before I go up into that a little bit, I just want to say, Jennifer, you were so inspiring what you said, that you found something that you're very passionate about, and that you just put one foot in front of the other, and it led you forward into great places, and now it sounds like wonderful success. So it's great to get to know you a little better. Thank you. So now I have a project going on with a song that I recorded a while ago that I've been holding on to. I never released it. I was waiting for the timing to be right, and I found a wonderful web designer who also puts video to music, and so she's creating a slideshow to attach to it, and I'm just so psyched, because it's been heavy on my heart to get this project out to the world, because I didn't want to, you know, face my heavenly maker and not have done this. So but I'm seeing ways where I can plug this into my website. And it's also making me start to think about how I can interact in video with people in terms of podcasts and talking about health, talking about music and singing, talking about art, and encouraging people to, you know, not just think of themselves as one way, but begin to honor themselves in their various interests, and that's what makes the whole person. So that's where I'm headed now. And it's just really fun to pull this project together. And in the meantime, I found professional training in my biofeedback community that I've plugged into, so that I can really get up to speed and feel confident with working on clients once again.
That's excellent. Put your information in the chat for everybody, please. How to contact you. Now, I want to tell you something without embarrassing you. I've never embarrassed anybody in my life on purpose because I'm an edifier and an encourager. That's why the good Lord named me Joseph. But anyway, since I met you, your whole countenance has changed. You are such a beautiful lady, and your countenance is so wonderful. You're going to have great success in your business, and just receive that. And I want to say a word to everybody, and to everybody who's listening to this later. The one defining characteristic that I find between someone who has success in a business, or ultra success in a business, or success in anything, or success in being a good dad, or being a good husband, is one word. It's tenacious.
Mhm.
You got to be tenacious about what it is you want. In other words, I want to be tenacious about being a good husband. You know, I want to be tenacious about being, you know, the CEO of my company. I want to be tenacious about being a good dad. If I'm playing baseball, I'm gonna beat you if I can. It's like I'm gonna be tenacious, right? And when you wake up every morning and you do your personal discipline, and you're tenacious and confident about what you've been called to do, oh my goodness, this just makes such a difference in your countenance, in how you feel about yourself, how you look, how you dress, how everything. It just makes a difference. And so start working on those things. And the first thing you do, this is the first thing I do every morning, even before I start my personal discipline time. Now, here's my secret. Because I wake up in the morning, I go into the master bathroom, and the first thing I do is brush my teeth, right? We all have our discipline. And what am I doing to brush my teeth? I'm looking in the mirror. And when I get through brushing my teeth, I start doing my mirror meditations. You are a winner. God has created you special. You're going to have a great day. You know, you're going to bless somebody today. You need to go for your dreams. I'm talking to that guy in the mirror, the man in the mirror.
Stuart Smalley.
Excuse me?
Do you remember Stuart Smalley on Saturday
makes a
night? Like
difference.
the Stuart Smalley. It's good. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes a difference. And I do that every morning that I wake up. Every morning. Not one morning, every morning. And my reminder is I'm looking in the mirror, brushing my teeth. All right. And I have to be a dummy not to realize that I'm looking at myself in the mirror. Isn't that cool? So, so I want to shift a minute. I want to give you 9 things to make you happier and give you a happier life. You ready for these? This is going to be really good. Number 1, the things that I want you to give up in your life that will make you happier. Here's the first one. Complaining. When you're complaining, it doesn't help the situation at all. If you're around other people and you're complaining, they don't want to be around you. They're sick and tired of hearing it. Complaining doesn't get you anywhere. So stop it. Quit complaining and do something about it. All right? That's number 1. Give up complaining. Number 2 is give up blaming others. Hey, you know what? My dad worked in a textile mill, and there were a lot of people that had a lot more advantages than our family. I didn't blame anybody. My father was doing the best he could, right? So why should I blame him? He's doing the best he could with what he had to work with. And so I decided to do something about it myself. Quit blaming anybody else, not to blame anybody else. So many times people don't have success in their life, or they don't follow through and they blame somebody else because it didn't work. Have you ever seen somebody get involved in a network marketing business and they did nothing? They absolutely did nothing. And then they tell people it didn't work for them. Well, the reason it didn't work is they didn't do anything, right? And if you go to your job every day and you don't do anything, you're going to get fired. And so then who you're going to blame? You're going to blame your boss for firing you because you didn't do anything? And it's all about perspective, guys. Give up blaming others. I mean, if you're blaming somebody else, they don't know it anyway, and then they could care less anyway. So stop it. Quit blaming somebody else and just give that up. Number 3 is limiting beliefs. Having limiting beliefs. When your beliefs are limited, it's kind of hard to receive your dream, isn't it? And so, hey, I got big belief. I believe anything can happen. My belief window is huge. I told Jennifer yesterday, we took our little puppy and we went out to the beach before sundown last night. And I looked at her and I said, I got the biggest dream I've ever had in my life. I believe we're going to conquer the world together. And she said, me too. You see, we have belief in each other. We have belief in God. We have belief in our dreams. We have belief in the people that God is surrounding us with, the Tom Hendersons and the Lynn Hendersons of the world. You know, God is surrounding us with some special people in our life. And so why not have big beliefs? Why not have a big dream? So give up limiting beliefs. All right. The 4th one, and this is my pet peeve. Negative self-talk. Give up negative self-talk. When you're saying, oh, you know, nobody from our town ever did much, or, you know, that's great. It might happen for you, but nothing good ever happens to me. Or, you know, you might can do it, but I can never do it. I mean, that's just a bunch of hooey, right? And not only do I don't want to be around people like that, is I don't receive it when they're talking, because I don't want that to rub off on me and my family, right? And so what we say is, man, we're going to conquer the world today. We're going to be blessed today. We're going to be a blessing to somebody today. Hey, God's got a great plan for us today. Hey, our dreams are bigger than they've ever been. Did you hear me say that before I started this? And so give up negative self-talk. What are you saying to yourself? I mean, really, what are you saying to yourself? Is that powerful? Because there's power in what you say. You can be hung by the tongue. Write that down. You can be hung by the tongue. So don't hang yourself with what you say about yourself. All right. So the fifth thing that I want you to give up is dwelling in the past or dwelling on the past. Oh my gosh. You know, here's the thing. There is absolutely no future in the past. There's no future in the past. And so whatever happened in your past was simply the learning experience to take you to where you're supposed to go. Whatever happened in your past, when those people tried to steal your business, Candace, that was the school of education to teach you from ever letting that happen again.
Yes, it was.
Right? And so we're not going to dwell on that. We're just going to bury them going forward. All right.
Yep.
And so when somebody would steal one of my customers in the trucking business or try to hurt me in some way, I didn't dwell on that. I just try to take the business in a better way. I try to take more market share. I didn't dwell on what happened in the past. I would go after something new.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
living in the past can keep you crippled. It can absolutely keep you crippled. And so when Jennifer and I start talking about things that happen in our life, we remind ourselves it was a lesson. It was not something that adversely affects us this day. It was the school of learning that got us to where we are so we could prosper. And when you receive it as a school of learning, as your formal education, then that's when you really take it to the next level. So give up dwelling on the past. Number 6, this is very difficult for people. Give up being resistant to change. Yeah, I heard somebody say, well, I'm never going to have a computer. Right. That's somebody, I'm never going to have a smartphone. Right. Yeah, I'm never going to use the internet. Right. You know, things are going to evolve whether you're decided to evolve with them or not. Here's an example. Transportation business. We started out, people were calling us, driving our trucks. They would call us, stop at a payphone. They would call us and tell us where they were. And we could believe it or not, right? Were they telling us the truth or were they not? Then it evolved to people in the trucks drivers in the trucks having cell phones. And we could pretty much track that a little bit. So they could call us and we could tell where they were. And then we went to satellite trucking. We put satellites on every one of our trucks and we knew exactly where it was all the time. And you know what? We were not resistant to that, but we moved with things that were changing and tried to stay with it and ahead of it so that we could be successful in our life. And if you don't think things are going to evolve and change in the future, then you're kidding yourself. You know, there's a whole thing going on now with, you know, artificial intelligence and all the things that are happening. Things are going to change. And so we need to not be resistant to change. We need to embrace change. And I got to the point in my company, my first company, that I knew people just dreaded change so much. I never talk about change. I talk about enhancing our model. And when you talk about enhancing people, hey, you think things are going to be enhanced in the future? I'd say, do you think Apple or General Motors or Nabisco or Procter and Gamble or Pillsbury, you think any of those people enhance their models? Of course they do. They're enhancing their business every year. And so what we have to do is not be resistant to the enhancements we need to make to be successful in our life. All right. The seventh thing you need to give up is, and you might not even have this, but some people do, is the need to impress others. Right? Give up the need to impress others. Do you ever go on social media? Jennifer and I have the saying, everybody on social media is beautiful and perfect and, you know, and all that. And we get involved in that as well. But you know what? I don't have to impress anybody. I'm driving a 2014 Mercedes. I can go buy a brand spanking new one right now, but my car's perfect. It's a diesel engine. I don't have to impress anybody, paid for cash, and I have a lot of money in the bank. And, and so what I'm saying is that I don't feel a need to impress anybody by buying a new car, right? I don't feel a need to impress somebody by trying to act like somebody I'm not. I don't need to apologize for who I am because God created me special and you special. And so just be the best version of you and people will be impressed naturally. How's that sound? You don't have to try to impress them. If you'll just be the best version of you, people will be impressed with you anyway. I buy my clothes from my guy for 35 years, my business clothes. And one day he told me, he says, you know, you're so nice and you're so kind when you walk in and talk to us. He said, we just feel better when you leave here. And he said, we have described your style. I said, he said, yeah. He said, your style is understated and elegant. Understated. That was a very nice understated was the compliment for me, you know, and it is. It's just understated, being a gentleman, being kind to others. And I have no need to impress someone because when I'm the best version of me, they will see it and recognize it and want to be around it or want to compliment it. And that's what I encourage you to do. So give up the need to impress others. That's number 7. Number 8 is the need to be always right. Give up the need to be always right. You know, I mean, I heard somebody say, boy, my kid hit 3 home runs in Little League and this and that and all that. Well, you know, you might be a Major League Baseball player. Well, I played for the Chicago Cubs. Well, that's just kind of one-upmanship, you know? Hey, man, just be happy. Just be happy for people, all right? And you don't need to be always right. When somebody tells me something that I know is not right, I just say, gosh, you know, I never thought about it that way. I got to think about that one for a little bit. Thank you for telling me that. I respect your opinion, you know? You don't always have to be right. And if you're married, it's a good thing never to be right. All right. You know, you got to learn to say, yes, dear, you know, and that kind of stuff. And yes, honey. Yes, you're right. That's right, honey. Great. And so my wife and children tell me sometimes I'm hard of hearing. And the reason is sometimes I don't want to hear, right? And so it's not my need to always be right. It's my need to, you know, allow them to express how they feel without me trying to counter and say, well, I played for the Dodgers, you know? You don't need to counter people. You don't need to always be right. You just need to love people where they are. And you need to say things like, you know what? That's pretty good perspective on your part. Let me think about that a little bit. You don't have to agree with it. You know, I never thought about that way. That's pretty good. It is hard to get in an argument with someone who's not willing to argue. You try to argue with me, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm just going to agree with you. I'm going to agree with you, and I'm going to be sitting here thinking, well, I never thought about it that way, you know? And so it's just fun when you have the right perspective and the right people skills, that you can give up the things that are holding you back. And holding you back is being always right. The ninth one, you ready for this? Is the need for other people's approval. Giving up the need for other people's approval. You know, we always like to get a pat on the back. Everybody likes to get a pat on the back. Everybody likes to hear that they're a good person. But you know what? God made you special. You don't need to change one thing about the way you look or, you know, the way you talk or anything. God made you just who you are. And again, if you'll be the best version of that, you know, you won't need someone else's approval. So many people are held back in life because their dad didn't approve them, or the dad didn't pat them on the back, or their dad didn't say they loved them, or, you know, their mother was drank too much, or their father drank too much, or all these things. You know what? When you get a certain age, that's not your responsibility. You know, your responsibility is you were made special. You don't need other people's approval. You know, it's quite interesting that as I aged in my life, my parents were my parents when I was a little guy. But as I aged in my life, I actually became my parents' parents. Does that make sense to you? Because they would ask me for my counsel because they respected the work I did on myself personally. They respected the success I was able to attain because I was tenacious. And they respected the way I handle these 9 things that I'm giving to you. And so my parents would ask me for advice. Is that pretty cool? And so when you're handling your business, your personal business, right? And you're doing these 9 things, you're giving up these 9 things that hold you back, people notice and they see you as refreshing and they want to emulate who you are. Does that make sense? What do you think about some of these, Tom? Tom Chesser?
You know, absolutely. You know, the 9 things you need to give up. I hopefully now we'll have 9 things you need to pick up. You know, in that situation, there's always giving up, there's giving and there's receiving. You know, I've always been taught that a closed fist can neither give nor receive, but an open palm can reach out and pick somebody else up. So, you know, create the highest, grandest vision for your life because you become what you believe. And that was done by Oprah Winfrey, by the way. You know, so today we've learned how to create this. We learned what to give up, what things that we need to let go of that we can't hold on to. Because, you know, all of us hold on to things. But thank you today, Joseph Land, for teaching us how to give it up, how to set it down, how to put it aside, and to how to move forward. The more you open up your life, the more you really see things. The more you close down in your life, the more you neglect things. So this has been really, really good today. I've enjoyed every minute of this, and I look forward to any comments. I'd like for you in the chat box, if you don't mind, before we walk off the stage today, is to put comments in there about today's show, about questions you might have or things you need an answer for. Things that sparked your interest today can light up somebody's life tomorrow. So do us a favor, put comments in there. That's what it's there for. And we want to hear from you. We want to see what this is doing with you, through you, and in you, right? And thank you very much. I really appreciate today's show, and I look forward to being able to watch it again.
Great. And Tom, I want to make one announcement. You and I've discussed this. The Ask Joseph Land show is for everyone. I want you guys to invite everyone to this show. Send them the link. Mark Chua will be sending out to all of you the free link. Save this link so that everybody can come to this show. And what Jennifer and I have decided to do is we want to do an intimate, as you know, we have the Joseph Land Insiders Club. And that's where I want to get really intimate. I'm giving you general information right now. Once a week, I'm going to do a small call with you guys and get really intimate with you in what I see in the financial world, what I see in investing, what I see in silver. For instance, I think silver is going to go skyrocket. What I see happening in the global supply chain with ocean freight and consumer goods and things that supermarket supply, all the things that I want to discuss with you on a more intimate, personal basis to equip you for great success in your business, because you are a member of my Insiders Club. And what we do on the show is, we have a great time here, but I want to get a little bit more in depth with you there. And Doris Chua, my VP of operations, will be announcing this to all of you via email. And she will let you know what we're doing and what we're planning. And so we're very excited about that. Jennifer and I you heard Jennifer said her nature was being a giver. Well, my nature is being a giver too. And we want to continue to give of ourselves to the people that come across our path so that we can be a blessing to them, right? And so I want to give away what God has taught me, what I've learned the hard way, to the people who have believed in us and become a part of our Insiders Club. And I want to give you really intimate, detailed information about the financial markets, what I see, about where to get your information, about what I see politically, geopolitically, all the things that are happening, demand and supply, the supply chain, freight, ocean freight, all the things that affect your household that you have, unless you're starting to think, have no idea what affects your household. So that's what I want to do. And I just thank you guys for joining us today on the Ask Joseph Land show. And Tony, would you pray us out today, please?
Sure thing. Sure thing. Lord, thanks for the opportunity to be here. Thank you for the opportunity to just hear from a number of people that are in the trenches, doing the work and serving people and loving people. And I thank you for the uniqueness of everybody that's on this call, across Canada and North America and other parts of your world. Just thank you, Lord. I ask you to bless everyone as we go our separate directions today. Help us to be a light among everybody that we can influence. In Jesus' name, amen.
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 All right, you guys have a great rest of your week. Thank you for joining me today here on the Ask Joseph Land show, and we'll see you next Monday at noontime.
All right. Thank you. Have a good
So,
day.
thanks, everybody.
Thanks,
Bye.
Joseph. Everybody have a great week.
Thank
Thank
you.
You too. Thank you.